Namaste. Jai Shri Krishna to all. Welcome to Path to Anandam series. And today, the power of self-realization, Atmabodh, based upon Srimad Bhagavad Gita's teachings. And experiences and the blessings from Swamiji, Hariharji Maharaj, and Satya Kalra, the founder of Path to Anandam, and host for this program. And whatever you see on this page, the bestsellers, the CDs, all is blessing from Swami Hariharji Maharaj, Shri Krishna Bhagwan Ji, and best wishes from all the friends and family. All these programs have been posted on YouTube channels, Satya Kalra, so you could see it later on, as well as you can share with your family members. Today's session, why today's session? I re-emphasize again, the mission of Path to Anandam series is self to self. Small self, as you can see, to the self. Self means experiencing who am I? I am Atma. I am no different than God. At the same time, during this transformation, our life is enhanced, quality of our life, and we find the solutions to daily problems. And how? Through a righteous action, which is also called dharma. And then we attain healthy, happy, and peaceful life and mind and body, and then abundance, and then everlasting happiness, which is our true nature, Anandam, with Chit Ananda. So during these sessions, we answer the basic 5 questions. Who am I? Where did I come from? Where will I go from here? And how? And the main part here, you can see self-purification, transformation, improvement, and through the experiences, going within through meditation. So, main focus again, the 3 pillars of these sessions are self-purification, which leads to transformation, and then self-realization. So today, we will embark on what is self-realization, what is Atmabodh, why self-realization, and what are the barriers which do not allow us to realize our true nature, Chit Ananda. And then how to walk on the path of self-realization, daily practices, benefits, and then our affirmation, Sankalpa, I'm self-realized soul. And then homework with the tip of the day, and then the meditation. So one of the question came, and I put it here for introduction also, that why self-realization subject? Why do we want it? We all want to be in peace, loved, Anandam. At the same time, there is so much turmoil going on in the world, which has been going on for centuries, for yugas. But now it seems like lot of wars, lot of arguments, lot of natural disasters, fires, tornadoes, tsunamis. family issues, relationships, all that. So for those crises, we need the connection within ourselves, who we are. We are Chit Ananda, but why we are feeling differently and why people are behaving in such a way. So this whole subject is not that something we are going to speak about or we become something different. We are unfolding to our true nature, who we really are. It's just like peeling the layers of the onions and getting to the center part, the sweetness of the onion. Similarly, we are removing our layers one by one, all this, whatever is in our subconscious mind, and going beyond it. In other words, going beyond ego, our limitations, and then experiencing that this body and mind is to conduct our daily activities. But unless we are connected with Supreme Power, Soul, Paramatma, then we cannot experience that. So we will be embarking on today, based on the Bhagavad Gita's teachings, modern science, ancient meditative practices, and many more. So what is self-realization and why self-realization? Self-realization is the awakening to one's true nature, beyond our name, our form, our thoughts, and especially our ego. It is the recognition that I am not the body, not the mind, not the role I play, like mother, sister, employer, employee, friend, but I am the divine eternal self, Satya Ananda. And in Bhagavad Gita, it says in chapter 2, in very beginning, very last verse of Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 2, which is the summary of the entire Gita. Esha Brahmi Sthiti Partanainam Prapt Vimuhati. Sthitva Syad Api Antkale Api Brahma Nirvan Mochati. Here says Brahmi Sthiti. This is the state of the pure superconscious mind, super consciousness, supreme consciousness, blissful states, supreme peace, which is also, it is known as the moksha, oneness. It has many names. And then transcendental unity with Brahman. So this is the stage, the ultimate stage, where we experience who we are by merging with Supreme Power. And why? Why Atmabodh? Because the purpose is Vihai Kaman Sarvan Pumascharati Nisprashaha Nirmamo Nirhankara Sa Shantim Digachati. Attain the freedom from selfish desires. Vihai Kaman. Why it is a selfish desire? Because the desires which arise from the ego, with 5 plus 2 enemies, from the greed, from attachments, from I-ness and minus, and that is supreme peace. So attain the purpose of life, inner peace, freedom from suffering and alignment with dharma and awakening to our true self. In other words, we perform every action with love and compassion for the benefit of all. So self-realization is not about becoming someone new, but You are remembering who you truly are. Pure, divine Anandam. That's what Deepak Chopra says. And that's what our logo also says. Love, peace, Anandam, Chit Ananda. So then how to attain it? Self-realization. How to grow from self to self. And here you see the small self. The small self refers here Jiva Atma, which is body and mind. And we are also the Atma, because Bhagwan Ji also says in Bhagavad Gita, in actually beautiful verse over there, Mame vancho jiv loke, jiv loka, Mame vancho jiv loke, jiv bhuta sanatana. I am everywhere, in everybody's body, everybody, every kan kan mein, chan chan mein. So again, going back, that our true nature is Satchit Anand. It is in our DNA, in every particle in our body, because kan kan mein, chan chan mein. So everything in our body is enriched with Anandam, with love and compassion. If that is the case, then what happens here? And actually it explains in Bhagavad Gita again, Dhyayato Vishan Punsa, whatever we think, then we become. We have desires, we have greeds. Dhyayato Vishan Punsa Sangasteshu Jayate, Sanga Sanjayate Kama, Kama Krodho Vijayate. Krodha Bhavati Sammoha, Sammoha Smriti Vibhrama. Smriti Branshad Buddhi Nacha Pranshati. Here, when we are overtaken by our senses, then our mind, our intellect is overtaken. And this is what happens to Arjun. Look at this here, how depressed he got. He became from hero to zero, because when he saw all of his family members in the war, he couldn't handle it. He was flooded with fear that he will incur, they might get killed. He will incur the sin. And again, he thought he was the one who was the doer. So his ego came that I'm the doer. His attachment, because his family members were there, his gurus, his grandfather, everybody was there. So he got into attached that how could I kill my family members? And actually, again, chapter 15, verse 7, it says so beautifully, again, the second part of it. Mame vansho jiv loke, jiv bhuta sanatana, man srashtyani indriyani, prakriti sthani karshati. All these senses and mind attract us. And due to that, we cannot feel that I am Satchit Ananda. So the causes, the barriers to experience, who am I? Atma Bodh, these 5 + 2 enemies. Kam, Krodh, Lo, Moh, Ankar, jealousy, resentments. But the nice part was that Arjun was aware. He got aware that now he cannot function anymore. He cannot get engaged in this dharma kshetra. He thought it was Kurukshetra. So then he finally asked Bhagwan Ji. But look at it. He had the Bhagwan Ji, Shri Krishna Bhagwan Ji with him, but he was not aware of it. But even though he was not aware of it, he was in deep heart, he knew that he is with supreme power. Even though he portrayed it, he did not. And there are many, many proofs on that one. But the bottom line here is he was aware, self-aware. And that's where he realized that he cannot function anymore. So he talks to Bhagwan Ji. Krishna Bhagwan Ji, when he says, Karpanya dosho pah svabhava, prashyami tvam dharma sammucheta. I become now very depressed. My buddhi is not working. Therefore, you guide me. He surrender. So that's the foundation. Anything we do in our life, first we have to be aware of it. What's happening to my body? What's happening to my surroundings? And then we inquire about it. And that's where he was speaking to his company, Bhagwan Ji. And so actually self-realization starts right here at the bottom, at the Jeev level. It's not like the self-realization is only that I am God and I am no different than God. We have to first have the awareness of our current situation. Then we can lead to that. So we cannot just jump like I'm going to experience that I am Chit Ananda, I am love, peace, Anandam. We have to start at a small level, at our body and mind level. What is happening to my body? What is happening to my mind? So that self-awareness is very, very important. And then self-inquiry. And then we do take some action. It's as I mentioned before, it's a AAA strategy. Awareness, analysis, and action for correction. So these are the basis for all these sessions as you hear it before, and then you will continue to hear it. But these are the basic principles. And then once he asked Bhagwan Ji, he's already surrendered. So he's on the path of self-realization because Bhagwan Ji pours the complete knowledge to him, complete wisdom. And he experienced that he's not just the body. He's not just the mind, but he is the Atma, which operates the entire body and which is Sanatan, which is permanent. Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. But there is some work needs to be done. Purification. So that's where the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, through Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyan Yoga, all that wisdom help us to purify our subconscious mind. And by doing that, the transformation comes. So again, there is the 3 S's: self-purification, self-transformation, and then self-realization. So once he realized, Arjun realized, or we realized that what action we should be taking, then we just get onto it. So by self-awareness, by cleansing our mind, subconscious mind, transforming ourselves, in other words, when we become calm, shant, equanimous, then we get the clear vision that what needs to be done. And then when do we perform our action, whatever it is at that point, that's a righteous action because we are not the doer at that point. The supreme power is. And here you can see it here, how depressed Arjuna was. I just took an example and he is asking for the advice. And then now he says, Karishye Vachanam Tav, let's go. And so he got that transformation. But we are continually speaking about this karmas, where he was doing the karma. So he has this further experience. We can experience Chit Ananda, who we are. So in summary, I put it there. I took it this one, and why I put this there? Because when I was writing my book, Path to Anandam, this my question and God's answers, Srimad Bhagavad Gita, I did not know, I could not figure it out, this definition of self-realization. And in my meditation, this came to me. And then I shared this with Shankaracharya. I called him up 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning, our time, which was and then I asked him, I said, this is what I have written about self-realization. Please let me know if it is okay. Because that was the last day to send my book to the printer and I did not have the definition. And he said, this is the best one I have ever heard. Do not change even a single word. So I just want to read this, which is basically the summary of what we just spoke. Self-realization. One realizes that the self with one is supreme. So one is Atma, soul, God, whatever you want to call it. However, due to one's vices, these 5 plus 2 enemies, impurities, one cannot experience oneness. Hence, one is separated from God. Therefore, one focuses on self-purification through self-improvement, transformation, which I speak in Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga, all yogas, but also the path of non-duality. Then one attains self-realization through spiritual practices. And when one does that, then one becomes gunati, develops the divine qualities. But meditation is a very important part of it. That is a must. And then he goes through many transcendental experiences, because a lot of experiences come and we hear from other friends and family, from saints, etc., who practice meditation and finally realize who I am, Chit Ananda, our true nature. So self-awareness is very important. Self-analysis, this triple A strategy, action for correction. And then these practices of purification, transformation. When we do purify ourselves through these practices, transformation happens automatically. And then we start getting the glimpse of the calmness, equanimity, the param shanti. And that leads to our eternal happiness, peace, Anandam, Chit Ananda. So in the bottom line, we reach to the Param Dham. And here it says, when the ego dies, the soul awakens. In other words, experience that I am Chit Ananda. So what is a prerequisition for this? I just took this, my favorite verse. And that's Guruji's favorite verse also. And I think that in Gita Ashram, everybody's favorite verse. And actually, these are the prerequisitions, and not only prerequisitions, these are the characteristics of the person who actually attains Atma Bodh. And he says, Nirmani moha jit sang dosha adhyatma nitya vinivratya kama vander vimukta sukh dukh sanger gachanti mura padam vyavam tat. Those who are free from ego and delusion and overcome the evil of attachment, free from selfish desires, egoistic desires, and duality like pleasure and pains, and dwelling constantly in supreme power. Then the supreme state, oneness with God, Chit Ananda, eternal happiness, love, peace, Anandam comes. So it is all described here. Freedom from pride and delusion, conquer faults of attachment and aversion, Atma Nitya, Adhyatma Nitya. Every day, not Nitya Yukta Upasde. We hear that many times in Bhagavad Gita, continuous practice, not just Sunday to Sunday. And one whose intellect is pure becomes peaceful and attains the supreme power. And these are the qualities actually which are also known as developed in the person who has the Atma Bodh, which is actually Atma Bodh has many different names, Tattva Gyan, etc. But whoever experiences that gets that. So benefits, both spiritual and scientific. Like, for example, Arjun, when he could not stand anymore, but after listening to all true wisdom from Bhagwanji, then he got up and he says, Karshe Vishnam Tau. So his body and mind got healed and then connected to the supreme power. So, and these are also the medical proofs that it reduces the stress, improves the mood, and also the heart, because he couldn't stand anymore. His body was flooded with toxins. His heart was pounding. So his heart came back to the normal stage. And he felt well. And his body, mind got connected with the soul. And he could do the righteous action because his ego got dissolved. So the body, mind, and soul all gets healed. So the purity, divinity, unity. Then it comes to the self-realization. So again, I put this calendar because this is the self-discipline calendar where we must practice Nitya Yukta Upaste every day based on the same three principles, AAA strategy, self-realization through self-purification, self-transformation, and then attain not just the healthy body, healthy mind, but we go beyond that, where we experience eternal happiness, not kabhi khushi, kabhi gum, but eternal happiness, calmness, peace, and then we get those glimpses which become more lasting, that I am Chit Ananda. But our daily practices must be there from morning to the night. Start our day with some Bhagwanji's name, reading Bhagavad Gita, and then take care of the body and mind, because it's very, very important to have that, and then develop the divine qualities, get rid of all the impurities in the mind, and then lead to fill our mind with divine qualities. So live in self-awareness. Living in self-awareness is very, very important. And then evening evaluate, self-inquiry comes, meditation comes, and then let go. So our Sankalpa, I am on the path to self-realization. I know my true self. I have that Atma Bodh. So Sankalpa Prabhavan. Sankalpa has a very big power. It changes the status of mind, continuously feeding the mind. Our subconscious mind gets cleansed. And finally, we get the ultimate connection. But it's not a fast reaction. It is a slow process, step by step. And our homework. Very first question. Do I have the purpose of my life? Self-realization. Do I realize my strengths and weaknesses? Am I aware of it? What I need to change? In other words, what are those barriers which are stopping me to go to the higher conscious level? Identify those, work on it. And that's where this spiritual planner is. Take one thing at a time. And I'm working on overcoming and developing divine qualities. Am I truly working on it? Am I practicing all these spiritual practices? So self-realization, not self-delusion, no more confusion. So Atma Bodh, not Atma Vismriti. In other words, we should live in the realizing our body, mind, and supreme power, ultimately to supreme power, and not live in the ignorance. Because life is full of experiences which leads to the path of self-realization and self-evaluation. So continue to practice, practice, practice. So thank you very much for attending Path to Anandam series, the power of self-realization, Atma Bodh.